breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, and it is monster news. A blockbuster trade in the NFL. Detroit is dealing Matthew Stafford to the LA Rams in exchange for 2 future first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Jared Goff. These are 2 former #1 overall picks trading places in an absolutely blockbuster trade that shakes things up both in Detroit and in LA.
Have been working on this for a few days now, and the Detroit Lions really wanted to get this done and resolved as soon as possible. And there were other teams involved in the process as well, but it quickly became apparent that the Los Angeles Rams wanted Matthew Stafford as badly as Matthew Stafford wanted them.
It'll be fun to see all those people, and it'll be fun to be there. And of course, you're motivated. Of course, you have the chip on your shoulder. I've spoken about that. Like, you know, there was some disrespect felt towards the end. There was some sourness there towards the end, and you still feel that. You still have that chip on your shoulder. But at the same time, when the game starts, if I let any of that come into how I'm going to play the game, it'd be selfish, and I'm going to play the game just how I would any other game.
I think that the way that it unfolded was totally different than anybody anticipated, yes. Could I have handled it better in terms of, hey, if there's a possibility of it, let's get ahead, even if you're out of town, yada, yada, yada. So to answer your question, yes, I wish that there was better, clear communication. You don't want to catch guys off guard. It came together a lot faster than anybody anticipated, and there's certainly things that, I know I would do it a little bit differently if I, when those situations arise in the future. But I think Jared knows the respect that I have for him. I feel very good about the dialogue that we were able to have, before he had gone to Detroit. He knows the appreciation that we as an organization, that I have as a coach, for all the good things that he did here. But to say that it was perfectly handled on my end, I wouldn't be totally accurate in that.
Everybody wants to say I circled the Rams. I asked for a trade not knowing anywhere where I was going to be. There were a bunch of different spots where I thought I could go. I ended up here. I'm extremely happy to be here. Pinch myself, getting the opportunity to play for this team with these players and these coaches. As far as comparing it to Detroit, I'm not going to do it. I just know that I'm having, a blast playing a bunch of football with some great players and great coaches. I loved my time in Detroit. I loved all the experiences I had. Some of them were tough, but they helped mold me into the player and the person I am today. I spent some, really meaningful time in my life, both on and off the field in Detroit, and I really enjoyed all of it. So I'm having fun what I'm doing right now. I had a great, experience for 12 years in Detroit. That's kind of how I want to leave it.
Honestly, Stafford's just getting back there, running the offense the way he want to run it. He's throwing the ball at a high, exceptional level, and he's playing free. He's having fun. You can definitely see that on the film, and I'm definitely looking forward to him going out there and trying to have fun against us. He knows us. This has been his backyard for 10 plus years. So with that being said, Stafford is coming into this game, I believe, to air it out on us. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, he's my former quarterback. I love him. He's a great guy, and I love the competitive nature that we always bring out each other. So it's going to be a great battle.
I tried so much to not talk about this, and then I'm so forward and thinking about the future. But to be honest, it was I had no inclination of it. It came somewhat from left field when it happened. But again, things happen for a reason. I'm excited to be out here. Everything's been great. I had a lot of fun there, like I spoke about early on after the trade. A lot of good moments, a lot of good times, and it's in the rear view mirror.
There's a lot of things that were said, but once you're the starting quarterback, if things ain't going how it's supposed to go, it's always going to be, you're going to be talked about a lot. I would never say nothing bad about Goff. Like I said, that's my brother. Always going to keep in contact with him. Always going to talk. I wish nothing but the best for him in Detroit. So we ain't gonna worry about the negativity that's talking about. He got a bright future ahead of him, a fresh start, and hopefully he do great things there. So
Sunday afternoon will represent a change in 2 franchises. It will be the closing chapter in a trade that rocked the NFL just 8 months ago. Jared Goff, once one of the most promising prospects in the NFL, now exiled from the Los Angeles Rams and struggling to regain his title as one of the league's elite. And Matthew Stafford, the golden boy of the Detroit Lions, finally deciding that he had done all he could do for this team and this city. and demanding to be traded to a place better equipped to win. In what is clear to be the most emotional game of the season for fans and some players alike, fans of both teams will soon have all of the answers they were looking for. Both quarterbacks face their fair share of criticism. Goff over his regression the last 2 seasons prior to his trade, and Matthew Stafford on his inability to win the big games, or at least carry his team to one. If Jared Goff turns the ball over and has a bad game, there will be a loud section of fans ready to say, "I told you so." But if Matthew Stafford doesn't come out and dominate this game from start to finish, there is still a section of Lions fans that will say the same thing. Do the Detroit Lions have a chance at winning this game? If you ask me, no, they don't. But this game is about more than a win or a loss column. This is the only game that I will say is more than about the scoreboard. If there is one thing I know, it's that Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford both have egos. Both have taken huge amounts of criticism over the last 3 years, and both will be looking to make sure they prove themselves right and their doubters wrong. Matthew Stafford will be aiming at Rob Parker and Mike Valeni when he aims his bullet passes this week. But what about Jared? This is a call to Jared Goff, a call to action from Detroit Lions fans. If there is an ounce of pride in that $30.5 million body, if there is a drop of ego left, Jared Goff is going to have to put on his big boy pants and play the game of his life. Because like I said before, this game isn't about the scoreboard this week. LA is headed for a playoff stretch, and the Lions will head directly to the NFL draft. We will not pass go, and we definitely will not collect $200. Well, the Fords will. But Goff cannot let the Rams get away with how they treated him. To trade him away for 2 first-round picks after leading, quote-unquote, this team to a Super Bowl, to cut off all communication with him in the prior weeks to the deal, to send him to Detroit. This game is either going to be the game that wakes Jared Goff up from his quarterback slumber, or it's going to be the game that completely breaks his confidence, and he will further regress into a quarterback depression for the rest of the season. Is Matthew Stafford going to be the guy to put his foot on a bad team's neck and go on to win his first playoff game? Or will he see another wild card exit on top of more passing records? Either way, when it's all said and done, the connection Goff had in LA will be no more, and the link between Stafford and Detroit will be broken forever. 2 fan bases, 2 quarterbacks, 2 stories ending, which also means 2 new stories beginning. I'll see you on the other side.